Buongiorno. Today I'm doing a tour of the churches of Rome with a friend and colleague. His name is Mountain.
Ciao.
Ciao. He is a specialist in Catholic tours, basically. So you're the Catholic traveler.
Catholic traveler.
That's the name of his blog, and he writes about Rome, and he lives here with his wife and his 2 daughters. And today we're just going for a little stroll to see the highlights of some of the churches of Rome, things that I've never seen before. So it's fun to have an expert with me who can take me around and show me things that I've never seen. So we're going to do a little turn around this church. I'm going to let him tell you.
So we're at the Church of San Salvatore in Lauro, which is in Rome, near the Tiber River, not far from St. Peter's. This church has the relics of some pretty modern and popular saints. So over here I want to show you. This church has relics of Padre Pio, so some of his vestments, and also one of his bones in the reliquary over here. And then they have one of his stoles up there, and they also have one of the gloves. So he was a stigmatist, so he had the wounds of Christ on his hands. They have one of the gloves here that is stained with the blood from where he would bleed. Over here, we have relics from one of the church's newest saints, Saint John Paul II. So they have his zucchetto.
Tell me what a zucchetto is.
The zucchetto is the hat that bishops, cardinals, and popes wear. It goes on their head. So his is right over here. And they have some of his vestments as well. The stole that he would wear is right there.
And he's only been a saint since, was it 2011, 2012?
13, I believe, right after Pope Francis was elected. Okay. He was canonized. So back here, this is not a new saint, but a very old saint. They have the arm of Saint Jude. So Saint Jude is the patron saint of hopeless causes. His body is actually buried in St. Peter's Basilica, but his arm is here, so it's much more accessible than St. Peter's. You don't have to wait for security to get in. But this is where people come and they pray for hopeless causes.
So there's his arm. And typically the way people would pray here for St. Jude would be they would either light a candle right here, or tell me about this tradition over here.
So writing the notes?
Yeah, tell me about that.
So people also will come to the churches and they'll write down a note here for something they're praying for, and they'll place it in this basket. And this basket is usually taken up for the altar during the masses, so that it's prayed over for the people's intentions.
Excellent. Okay.
Another thing this church has is one of the black Madonnas. You see it over the altar there. That is a replica of the Madonna that is in the house of Lauro. This is the house of Mary that was flown by angels to Lauro, Italy, and then there's a big basilica built around the house. But this is the church that holds the black Madonna.
Interesting. So what I think is great about the city of Rome is that as you're traveling through here, you're going to run into how many churches? Do you know how many churches are here?
I've heard 985 in the city, but 400 kind of within the walls of Rome.
So 400 churches, and how are you supposed to see them all? You're not.
You're never going to see them all.
But I would suggest the best strategy is to just choose a few that have doors open and wander in, because you can see wonderful things inside. And even better, if you can hire a local guide, somebody who's a really good expert at these things, who has a real passion for it, it brings it alive as well. But always when you see a church with a door open in Italy, you should go in, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah. So the name again of this church?
San Salvatore in Lauro.
San Salvatore in Lauro.